Alright, guys. I think we all know the timing as to why I'm making this next rant video. I'm sure we're all aware of the very sad news that the Trona Railway is now cutting up their beloved SD40 motors after all this time because of that stupid CARB grant that they took from the state of California. See, it hits kind of hard for me, not only because I have an attachment with these old motors and I've seen them several times, but it really hits especially hard knowing that I caught Unit 2008 on what is quite possibly its very last run. I did film the engine in multiple places on the line, and I did post a video about it recently. I'll probably make a collage of all the videos I had of 2008 when I went up to Trona last, and I'll see if I can post that on YouTube too for all you wonderful people to see. But I'm not gonna lie, this one really affected me. I mean, let's all be real here, folks. We all knew this was gonna happen at some point because nothing lasts forever. But it really was accelerated by the CARB grant that was going on. I mean, I get what CARB is trying to do, but I think they're really going about it the wrong way. I mean, these new Tier 4 engines, depending on what they are, probably won't even function very well in the long run. I mean, Trona Railway might be an exception if they're getting the new Tier 4 GEVOs, but let's take a look at the Napa Valley Railroad, for example. I mean, look what's happening there. The Napa Valley Railroad has accepted a grant from CARB to kill off all these old locomotives just to make the air cleaner. I mean, this really bugs me how railroads are doing this, because it doesn't even really help the environment in the slightest. We really need to start checking motor vehicle exhaust and diesel truck exhaust more than trains, because I've done some research on this for environmental science class last semester, and trains, dude, I've seen several studies that say that train emissions only make up about 1.8% of the total emissions, which honestly isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. I mean, trains are literally the most fuel-efficient mode of transportation known to man. Look at the average intermodal train. The average intermodal train holds hundreds of containers, perhaps, if long enough. And each one of those containers could be on an intermodal chassis driven by a diesel truck. Now, keep in mind, these diesel trucks can only hold, one container. So I really don't see why diesel trucks have been mostly left unregulated. I don't know what they're doing with that. And that brings me into another thing, how this damn state of California has decided it would be a good idea to continue to enforce these emissions that were voided by President Trump. I know I don't get political with you guys very much, but this is one thing that's been on my mind lately. I mean, if something's been voided by the president, it should be voided. I mean, you can't just keep going if the boss tells you no. Like, picture your average workplace. If your boss says you can't do something, you better damn well not do it, you guys. That's honestly been driving me crazy ever since I heard of that case for a little while. I'm not sure what the updates were on that, but I heard the DOJ was going to go after California for it. Getting back on track after I kind of got derailed by my ranting about the state of California because I always get pissed off at their stupid nonsense, I will say this about the given situation on behalf of the crews. A lot of us rail fans and foamers are all pissed off and depressed and disappointed and sad and whatever you call it about all these beloved 40s getting scrapped. Well, what I will say is that in one aspect, I can't blame you guys for doing this. And what I mean by that is, in one form or another, I've heard through the grapevine that the Trona Railway has been cutting up the least reliable locomotives first while they're entering their SD60s into service. And that just so happened to include these late SD40s with the muted exhaust stacks and the Q fans on the radiators. And I guess those were the most unreliable. I don't know. Either way, while it is still depressing, I would imagine that if they're unreliable, they break down all the time. And literally, 2008 died on the last journey that it took. At least that's what I believe, because when I filmed it coming down the first time, it was running. And when it came into the yard, it was dead. So if it was that unreliable, I don't blame you. Speaking of unreliability, I noticed in a photo that 2008 and 2009, after being cut up, were sitting next to 2005. That was also sitting in the line, but then I heard a rumor that 2005 was taken out of that line and shoved back into the shops, which is honestly the best thing that the Trona Railway could do right now. Just from an outsider's point of view, I'm trying to take this in perspective of the crews and the realism of a potential rebuild for 3 of the 40s like they've been saying they would do. I believe at this point that the SD40 T-2s would make a fantastic set of candidates for the Tier 4 rebuild. I know it sounds kind of harsh coming from me. I don't want the SP history going away either. But think about it from an outsider's point of view. The SD40 T-2 was literally designed for hot environments like Trona, essentially, because on Donner and Tehachapi passes, engines would frequently overheat and die, and the trains could basically stall. I've seen many a train stall at Tunnel 5 for that reason alone. The T-2 series with the 40 and 45s, they were designed with that problem in mind because the radiator allows airflow to come through and cool the engine down while it's running so it doesn't blow up and overheat in a hot environment. Like Trona, for instance. I haven't really heard anything bad about the tunnel motors out at Trona, and I think that might be partially because of that reason. These engines can cool themselves down in a hot environment with that certain airflow in the back. And if they were to keep 3 of the 40s, from an outsider's perspective, I would honestly recommend 2004 to 2006. Like all 3 of those engines, 04, 05, and 06. They would be a perfect candidate set for the rebuild. And definitely try to keep those radiators, because we don't want the new Tier 4 engines dying out there all the dang time. Like I said, the airflow from the tunnel motor grills will definitely help cool the engine down in these hot environments. I say this so much because it was 115 degrees last time I went there, and I nearly died of heat stroke. I love the heat, and I couldn't even handle it and nearly died out there. But it was so doggone worth it. That's just basically my 2 cents on the matter for all this. And I hope to return, I don't know about you guys, but I hope to return to the Trona Railway for more reference photos and more foaming out there and stuff like that, because I do plan at some point to model the Trona Railway from 2002 onward, the SD40 era onward. This includes the SD60s and whatever Tier 4 Gevos they'll be getting. I'll be picking up a lot of older 40s and trying to upgrade some to DCC. And 2002, I've only ever seen that SD40R as a B unit, so it probably won't have sound. It'll just trail on someone else's address. And the Tier 4 Gevos I will probably pick up from Intermountain, because I've had 2 Intermountain Gevos for about 9 years. And these 2 Intermountain Tier 4 Gevos have never once picked up any dirt, and I've never had to clean them. They've been confined to my home rails for 9 years, and I've never had to clean them once because they just run so well. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say on this whole mess with the Trona Railway. And yeah, I basically don't have anything left to say, so I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for listening to me rave on about this nonsense again, and I'll see you in the next video.